What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the episode breakdown. My name is Oliver. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and punch the notification bell. This is the only way to make sure you get every single breakdown. The third episode of Alien Earth, titled Metamorphosis, is here. And let me tell you, this might be the most psychologically intense installment yet. We're going full spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, hit that pause button and come back. This episode dives deep into trauma, and the title isn't just about the alien. Let's start with a complete recap of the episode's events. Metamorphosis picks up immediately where episode 2 left off, with Wendy rushing to save her brother Hermit from the xenomorph, while Kirsch and the other Lost Boys work to contain the other alien specimens from the crashed Maginot. The episode opens Wendy, our hybrid protagonist. She's moving with a desperate, urgent purpose: find her brother, Joe, who was taken by the xenomorph at the end of the last episode. But notice the environment. The director uses sound and shadow masterfully here. The drip of water, the hum of faulty lights, the distant, echoing skitter that could just be rats or something far worse. Meanwhile, we cut to Kirsch and his team. Under the supervision of Kirsch, the Lost Boys faction is shown methodically gathering data on the ship's cargo. This subplot suggests logistical or strategic priorities, possibly tied to containing the xenomorph outbreak or salvaging resources. A new mission. Boy Cavalier declares the rescue mission over and retasks Kirsch and the Lost Boys with a new objective: secure all the alien specimens from the Maginot and bring them to his facility. This transitions the story to a new primary setting, fracturing dynamics. The episode deepens the characters of the other Lost Boys, the child hybrid. Nibs, traumatized by her earlier alien encounter, begins to question her synthetic existence, wondering why they couldn't keep their original names. In contrast, Curly demonstrates fierce loyalty to Boy Cavalier, openly confronting him about Wendy being his favorite, and positioning herself as a more ambitious and sophisticated successor. Kirsch's strain. The synthetic guardian Kirsch suffers indignities from the arrogant Boy Cavalier, who belittles him for losing control of Wendy. In a key moment, Kirsch must physically pull a fascinated Cavalier away from a newly acquired xenomorph egg.
Ow, hey!
Patiently explaining the lethal danger of the facehuggers to organic life. One of the crew members we haven't seen much of yet, Nibs, wonders why they're called Lost Boys, given half of them are girls. She's also not happy that Wendy gets to be Wendy, but the others riff on their own names too. We now see Wendy desperately searching the crashed ship for Hermit.
Joe?
She finds him held captive in a gooey restraint inside a shipping container, where he warns her that it's a trap. A tense cat-and-mouse game with the xenomorph ensues. The xenomorph proves its tactical intelligence by luring them into a butcher's locker-like environment and stalking them from the shadows and from on top of the containers. In the ensuing fight, Wendy uses her synthetic strength to ultimately decapitate the creature, but not before Hermit is grievously wounded by the alien's tail, and it nearly kills him with its inner mouth, before Wendy intervenes. Using a metal hook and her synthetic strength, Wendy manages to decapitate the creature. This isn't the unstoppable force that required Ripley to use a power loader or space nuke. This creature is vulnerable, which tells us something important about this particular xenomorph, or perhaps about Wendy herself. However, the victory comes at a great cost. Wendy suffers critical damage and begins leaking white circulatory fluid and collapses unconscious next to her brother and the alien carcass. While Joe is severely wounded, both left unconscious beside the xenomorph carcass, effectively removing our two apparent main characters from most of the episode's remaining runtime. With Wendy and Hermit sidelined from much of the episode, the narrative shifts to focus on the other Lost Boys, highlighting the central irony that these superhuman synthetics are at their core still children. Slightly and Smee's terror. Left to guard the alien eggs, Slightly and Smee act like scared kids, trying to impress each other but ultimately terrified of their situation. Their childish banter is interrupted by the menacing cyborg Morrow discovering Slightly and Smee guarding the alien eggs. In a fascinating character moment, Morrow doesn't just capture or kill them, he's intrigued by their childlike behavior despite their adult synthetic bodies.
At 98%. 99. Data transfer complete.
While downloading the ship's data directly into his brain, he poses a philosophical riddle to Slightly.
When is a machine not a machine?
When is the machine not a machine? He manipulates slightly by preying on his childlike loneliness, convincing him that they can be friends while clearly establishing control over him. Nib's dissociation. In a quieter moment, Nibs is shown scrutinizing her new body in a mirror, clearly disturbed and unhappy with her synthetic form. This is in stark contrast to Curly's enthusiasm and suggests she is struggling to cope with her new existence. In the Presidius laboratory, Wendy, waking from her repairs, the episode's climax revolves around a terrifying laboratory sequence in which Kirsch, Curly, and Toodles begin experimenting on a captured xenomorph egg. They carve it open, extract the facehugger, and dissect it while it is still alive, retrieving a tadpole-like xenomorph embryo from within. Simultaneously, doctors operate on Joe and remove one of his damaged lungs. In the lab's final, unsettling scene, Kirsch takes the writhing embryo and drops it into a medical vat containing Joe's severed lung. The creature immediately burrows into the organic tissue, revealing that Boy Cavalier and Prodigy have begun their own horrifying project to create and control a xenomorph. Wendy, drawn to the lab, and experiences what appears to be a psychic connection to the xenomorph specimens. She hears disturbing sounds that cause her intense pain, eventually stumbling into the laboratory and collapsing just as the experiment with Hermit's lung reaches its horrifying conclusion. So, what do you think? Did Wendy defeating the xenomorph with a knife work for you? Or did it diminish the creature's threat? Is Morrow a villain or an antihero? What are your predictions for where the experiment with Hermit's lung will lead? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Next week, we'll see the aftermath of Wendy's collapse and Kirsch's horrifying experiment. Based on what we've seen in Metamorphosis, things are about to get much worse for everyone involved. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe to Episode Breakdown for more in-depth analysis of your favorite shows. Don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. Remember, in space, no one can hear you scream. But here on Earth, the screams are just beginning. I'm Oliver, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.